welcome you to the official opening of the Barden Park Regional Centre of Excellence for Athletics. I'd like to firstly thank the Little Athletics New South Wales and you, the Little Athletics community, for allowing us the opportunity to formally open Barden Park Regional Centre of Excellence as part of your zone carnival. So thank you for allowing us to intrude. I now call Rod Towney, Janai and Sky to come forward for the official welcome to country.
Thank you. Today you walked on the land, or you walk on the land of the Wiradjuri people. We've been here for hundreds of thousands of years. We thank you for coming and we give you a very warm welcome. With me today I have two of our younger school children, Janai and Sky, and they are going to welcome us in the traditional language of the Wiradjuri people.
I'd like to acknowledge the Wiradjuri people from the country and speaking to you. I would just like to say welcome to my people and thanks for coming on your
We have Mayor of Dubbo, Councillor Mathew Dickerson, Federal Parks, the Honourable Mark Coulton, Deputy Premier and Member for Dubbo, the Honourable Troy Grant, Councillor Rod Towney, Local Champion and Dubbo Junior Sportsperson of the Year, Peyton Smead, Commonwealth Games gold medal winner, former Olympian and man behind the Indigenous Marathon Project, Mr Robert D. Castella, Dubbo's own New York Marathon runner in the Indigenous Marathon Project, Mr Nathan Riley. Also with us today from Dubbo City Council are councillors Kevin Parker, Rod Towney, Tina Reynolds, Alan Smith, Greg Matthews, Greg Moore and Councillor John Walker. Councillor John Walker is also here as Chair of Regional Development Australia Iran, a body that shortlisted Barden Park as a project of regional significance, enabling Dubbo City Council to apply for both Commonwealth and state government funding. And that's how we've been able to build this magnificent facility. Also welcome fellow members of Council's Executive, John Bayliss, Stuart McLeod, Alyssa Watkins and Ken Rogers. Also welcome General Managers and Mayors of the Arana region. Barden Park's been designed and built not just for the Dubbo population, but as a regional centre of excellence. I acknowledge members of the Barden Park Steering Committee, which included representatives from the Dubbo Athletics community, Mr David Williams and Mr Peter Bass, Dubbo District Public School Sports Association President, Ms Amanda Thorpe, Mr Neil Hinton of Athletics New South Wales, Mr Greg Dixon and Ms Chantel Grills of Little Athletics New South Wales, Mr Craig Gale of Dubbo Sports Council. Also with us today are representatives of David Payne Constructions, the building contractor of this marvellous facility here before you. In this regard, I acknowledge David Payne, John Stoddard, Steve Wonderly and Matt Creswell. Some of the subcontractors are also here today, including Ken and Rhonda of Western Plains Windows and Glass, and Luke and Ian Robertson of Chilright Refrigeration and Air Conditioning. Barnsons, the Dubbo-based designers of the facility, are also with us today, and they're represented by Jim Saranzouklis and Kirk Gleeson. I welcome principals of the Dubbo school community who are important stakeholders in athletics infrastructure, representatives of the Clontarf Foundation and the Indigenous Marathon Project. This includes IMP head coach Mick Rees and IMP's first New York Marathon runner, Charlie Marr. Lastly, I acknowledge the council team who coordinated the development of Barden Park Regional Centre of Excellence and also thank them for their efforts. And in particular, Mr Wes Giddings and Mr Mick Wilson, with Mick once again delivering a first-class facility for council on time and on budget. I'd now invite the Mayor of Dubbo, Councillor Mathew Dickerson, to say a few words.
Thank you, Murray, and welcome along everyone, and especially my fellow councillors and fellow dignitaries here on stage. Sport is so often about being knocked down and the ability to get back up, and the ability to have determination and perseverance. And the champions that we see in sport so often have had to get back up many times and show that perseverance and determination. And I would say the reason that we are sitting here in this magnificent 598-seat grandstand looking out across this international world-class facility is because of the perseverance and determination of Council to bring this to fruition. The first application that we put in for this facility, we got knocked back on. And it would have been easy for Dubbo City Council at that time to say, well, it was just a pipe dream, we had a bit of a go, let's give up. But we didn't. What we did do was we worked closely with RDA, and thank you to John Walken for the work that you put in there. And then we went down through Mark Coulton, our federal member, and we met with representatives of the federal government, and we worked out why we weren't successful the first time around. And we came back and we worked at refining that application, and we got the support of Troy Grant to actually bring the state government on board as well. And in the end, what we're seeing here now is a result of 3 levels of government working hand in hand. And that's the great part about this facility. The application went through the RDA, was approved by the RDA, and then went on to the federal government. Now that application included $1.256 million of funding from the state government, $958,000 from local government, and the ask from the federal government was for $3.477 million. Not a small sum of money, obviously. But obviously the federal government, in their wisdom, saw the community support that was behind this and the fact that this was a regional facility. And this isn't just about Dubbo and about Dubbo athletes and about Dubbo schools. This is about the entire region. And one of the important aspects of this facility is the fact that we've got a 35-room or 35-person facility downstairs in the grandstand, so that when people from the region travel to Dubbo, they can actually accommodate their school children in a segregated male and female area to be able to have training camps and those facilities for people from the entire region. That was an important part of our overall focus. So we now have this facility, and if we think it's just for the elite athletes, then I spoke to one of the school's coordinators last night and I said, how many people approximately do you think just normal school kids having their normal carnivals will use this facility in terms 2 and 3 next year? And the number I got back was about 14,000 children. So it's not just about the elite athletes, it's not just about the Rob D. Castellas, and thank you for coming along, Rob. It's not just about the Jane Fardells, it's not just about the Katrina Gibbs. It's about all those school kids being able to compete on a track that is world class. This track was built by a Chinese firm to international standards. The track marking was put out by a Malaysian firm, one of only 2 in the world that's authorised to do so, to IAAF standards. So when you see a relay later on involving Troy and Mark and myself and John Walken, if we break a world record, it'll be ratified as a world record. So we'll keep that in mind as we're out there on the track. The actual facility itself, Mari's already mentioned that David Payne Construction, a great local firm, won the contract for this facility. There were about $2 million of the $5.691 million spent on this facility that went into local wages alone. 205 workers were inducted in this facility. 95% of those were from local businesses and local employees. So this facility has really been owned by the local community and will be utilised by the local community and the local region. It really is a wonderful world-class facility, and it's just another one of the facilities that Dubbo has that lifts our standard overall in Dubbo to a new standard. So it is about those athletes, those kids just getting out there having a go. But who knows, we'll be talking to Peyton Speed in a little while. There's more than one Peyton Speed out there in our community, I believe. And this facility will give them the chance to dream. We might have a Rob D. Castella out there. We've got a female version of Rob D. Castella and Jane Fardell. I mean, Rob D. Castella, former world champion, former world record holder. And when we talk about IAAF standards, and I'm sure Rob would be able to tell this story in much greater detail than myself, but when he first broke the world record, it wasn't known as a world record because someone else had run a faster time in a marathon. And it was only when they checked, I think it was the New York Marathon, they checked Rob, when they checked the actual length of the New York Marathon where the world record was held, it was 148 metres too short. So Rob actually held the record because the track that someone else had a faster run on was not to international standard. We won't have that problem here when we break world records. And that's one of the things that I think our kids can dream now, not just about what they can do at the local level, but they can dream about state, national and international level. I think that's one of the great things we now have in our community. But thank you for coming along. It's a fantastic crowd to come along just for the opening here. There's a few of you might be interested, a few of your kids running around as well in the zone carnival. And we look forward to seeing many more uses of this facility over the next year and many years to come in the future. Thank you.
I'll now call on the Federal Member for Parks, the Honourable Mark Coulton.
Thank you, Murray. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, it was good listening to the Mayor outline the history and what went on. I could listen to him all day because the more breath he uses up speaking up here, the less he'll have for the relay later on. But no, this is a great example of cooperation between federal, state and local government. I'm very pleased to have had some part in this, and I'm particularly excited to be here today to see kids from all over the region here competing. This will be a regional facility.
And Member for Dubbo, the Honourable Troy Grant.
Thank you, Murray, and good morning, everybody. Well, this really is an example of what Dubbo can do if we work together. We unite across the three levels of government, and the community come with us. That was the vision of a few, and now will benefit the many. We have the opportunity now to embrace communities not only in Dubbo, but right across Western New South Wales, to give them access to world-class athletics facility, where not only the sport of athletics across many disciplines can all be showcased and developed here.
On behalf of Dubbo City Council, the federal government, the state government, huge amount of pleasure for all of us to officially declare open Barden Park Athletics Facility.
Our past 5 years we've taken 42 Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander men and women to the finish line of the major international marathon, mostly the New York Marathon. A couple have done the Boston Marathon, a couple have done the Tokyo Marathon. And it's the main reason I've come here this weekend is to do what we call a return to community graduation ceremony.
Got rostered to run my Boston time, and then stepped up into the full marathon training program, and I just really decided that I was going to give it 100%, and mainly all you can do, but not only go away,
Okay, Tommy, come over here.
Rodney, Rod.
We'll have Kevin Parker. Kevin, put your hand up, thank you. In the third leg of the relay for Council from Towney, and then with such a big lead, I want to sell a job home in the last leg. In lane 2, I'll get Troy to introduce his team.
Running for New South Wales, first leg is Hamish Grant, representing the Minister for Education. The second leg is Charlie Marr, representing the Minister for Aboriginal Affairs. And the third leg is Dummy Tooney, representing the Minister for Small Business. He owns his own council down at Dickerson Centre, and I'll leave money before.
First one will be Kane, and then we've got Rodney and Rodney. These guys are from the Rontail Foundation, and I'm sure they'll be going to get him with the end.
He's over there, and then we've got Louisa Coley and Felicity Taylor Edwards checking out the track, and myself, John Walker. So I just wish to wish commiserations to the teams that we're racing against today. I hope they're not bad losers. Thank you.
So thank you, and with us, Jeff Mann, come on and call us the event for us. And thank you to the other athletes for being a trip that carnival. We'll be back on track.
So into the blocks, he climbs, the ladder. The blue line is flashing, ladies and gentlemen. This 2014 Barden Park Regional Centre is opening.
I'm just going to do a ready, set, go. Set, go!
And they're off and racing. Good start, got them out of the block. See early and right out in the front is young Kane representing the federal government. Just ahead of a runner. He's in fact passed on to his second one. Ian Stanford doing his best impersonation of a broken down galloper. It's moved on to the second runners now, and the second runner for RDA, they've developed a very good style here. It's almost like slow-mo running down the back track there. Look at that. We'll go into the fast forward shortly when the ball gets out around Rob Gummy, Towney. They're coming to the main straight, ladies and gentlemen. There are three flyers here. These are the ring-ins from Mark Coulton's team, and we're blocked out by a little bit of a blank. And Mark Coulton, well, he started off with a sprint. Troy Grant holding there, the Minister for Racing, ladies and gentlemen, and he's going to go. He's trying to get it. Mark Coulton puts him down. He's a stayer, this fellow from up on the Northern Plains. Troy Grant, broken down. Troy Grant's broken down. Mark Coulton's called a presser. He's having a doorstop here. I'm wondering where Mathew Dickerson's coming. Well, as always, he waits till all the hard work's done, and then he comes sprinting down the straight. Dropped his hat. Ladies and gentlemen, they say that he's so quick, he dropped his hat playing for St John's junior football one day, and he actually turned round, ran back, picked it up, and still scored the try, and here he comes. Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen. This is the old shot putter, the old man from Barden Park, the McLean Street runabout runner. And ladies and gentlemen, we are a setup for what should be a photo finish. Can't pick it, ladies and gentlemen. And Mathew Dickerson stopped just shy of the line. Troy Grant, Mathew, Mark Coulton, Troy Grant, and John Walker, ladies and gentlemen, in the inaugural Barden Park Regional Centre Excellence for Athletics handicap. And I can tell you that those four finishing athletes are well and truly handicapped.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the official part of the opening ceremony for Barden Park. We now hand the facility back to Little Athletics New South Wales. Hope you have a great day, and thank you for your patience while we
And correct weight, ladies and gentlemen, correct weight, ladies and gentlemen. We did have to scale furnace to get a scale heavy enough to get the last form, but correct weight here at Barden Park.